If you want to start your stationery business, there's no need to overcomplicate your shop. I'm going to be giving you 10 Christian stationery products that you can make today, even if you're starting from scratch. Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Caitlin if you're new, and I make videos about scrapbooking, stickers, and my Christian stationery business. Sorry my upload this week is a little bit late. I did have a busy weekend. One of the ladies from our church actually hosted a baby shower for Justin and I, and it was just the sweetest thing ever, just seeing our community come together and celebrate this baby with us. And so, yeah, there's a bunch of baby stuff that we have to go through, but we're so incredibly grateful just for everyone who came by, everyone who just showered this baby with blessings and prayers. And so we're so grateful for that. But for today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys stationery product ideas that you can implement for your small business. I know starting a stationery shop can definitely feel overwhelming, especially if you don't know where to start. So hopefully this video is beneficial in helping you get started. I do also want to say that these products are kind of catered and geared more towards a Christian business. However, you can broaden and generalize that just for any kind of stationery business. Some of the products that I'll mention as well are currently in my Etsy shop, while others are products that I kind of wish that I made. I'll also be rating the level of difficulty for each one. So let's get started. So the first product I would recommend are stickers and sticker packs. These will require some level of design skills, whether that's from scratch or on Canva or any kind of other digital softwares that you can create designs. If you decide to make these products in-house, some of the things that you'll need are going to be the designs themselves, sticker paper, a printer or access to a printer, scissors or some kind of cutting machine, and then you can also have the option to include vinyl, which is just another protectant layer that you can add to increase the quality and value of your stickers. For the designs, you can create them digitally, but there are people who use other mediums. So they'll use like hand-drawn images, paintings, watercolors, markers, color pencils, basically anything that can be converted into a scanned image. Along with all the other products are going to be shipping supplies, so you can make that as complicated or as simple as you want. And if you decide that you don't want to make them in-house, you can outsource to a manufacturer, which will eliminate all these products, and you'll just have to pay probably a slightly higher fee for producing them. But it does save you all these overhead costs in having the resources and inventory. The difficulty level, I would rate this a 5 out of 10, just because you do have to have some kind of design skills. But the product themselves can actually be pretty profitable if you have decent design skills and you're able to increase the quality of your products. So number 2 is going to be sticker sheets, and this is slightly similar to the stickers. However, because you are designing like a whole sticker sheet compared to just one singular sticker, it can be more profitable in how you price them. If you decide to make them in-house, you're probably going to use the same supplies that you use to create the stickers. You probably will need a cutting machine because I don't think scissors would work the same as they would if you were to hand make stickers and cut them out yourself. Because sticker sheets need the backing layer, a cutting machine will be able to do that without cutting all the way through. Unless there's a way to make sticker sheets without having to have a cutting machine, like I'd be so curious to know, like let me know if that's something that you guys have tried before, but I've never thought of like the process of how that could work without a cutting machine. For the difficulty level, I'd probably say this is a 7 out of 10, just because you are designing a whole sticker sheet, which means there's more surface area, and so it's probably going to take more time. There's also the process of configuring and figuring out your cutting machine to be able to cut just the right amount of pressure to cut your stickers so that it peels off, but it doesn't like cut all the way through. And so figuring all of that out kind of just slightly increases the difficulty a little bit. But overall, this product is a great profitable item, especially if you already know how to make stickers. So number 3, tying it in with the Christian stationery niche, is going to be scripture affirmation cards. So these scripture affirmation cards are just cards with Bible verses or sayings and quotes that are similar to Bible verses, just to encourage and lift up people. These can be easy and quick to design, especially if you have access to Canva. And I would say it takes maybe like 2 to 3 hours at first, just trying to figure it out. But once you get the hang of it, it can go by pretty quick. There's the option to make like physical versions of them and also digital versions. So if you do like the physical versions, you'll have to buy like all the supplies to make it. And then for the digital versions, you can just have like a PDF version for people to print or download. If you decide to print them in-house, some of the things that you may need are going to be the designs themselves, a printer or access to a printer, high quality paper, some kind of paper cutter or scissors, and laminate if that's something that you want to do. For these, I would say the quality of your paper can make a huge difference. If you have really nice like glossy or matte or kind of like a laminate kind of paper, it will definitely increase the quality and value of these cards. For the difficulty level, if you are just making them digitally, I would say it's a 3 out of 10 just because it's pretty low effort and it doesn't take much time. However, if you are trying to print them in-house and create the physical product, I would say it's a 6 out of 10 because it requires slightly more effort. So the fourth category of products that I think you guys can make are devotional journal pages or Bible study reading plans. Similarly to the last products, these don't really take long to create. And if you do it in Canva, it could take like from 1 to 2 hours or 2 to 3 hours max probably. And the supplies you'll need are very similar as well. The only thing you probably wouldn't need is a paper cutter because you are just printing it on like a single sheet. And if you do like packets of them, you can definitely sell them in a bigger packet. But a product like this is great if you want to get into digital products and kind of make something like once and just have it sell. You do want to give a bang for your buck. And so like these could be from 10 to 20 pages, 20 to 30 pages. I know some people can go up to 100 pages. And if you're able to connect the value of your product to how much a customer is willing to spend, this can be a really profitable item. A big pro about this is that you don't have to have too many artistic abilities because it's more so about like layout and design. And if you're really good at that without like the artistic element, like this is the perfect item for you. For difficulty level, I would say it's probably like a 4 out of 10 just because it's not technically hard to a design. It just may take a long time depending on how big you want to make the packet or what kind of pages you want to include and things like that. So the fifth one on my list is going to be scripture memory cards / prayer prompt cards. This one is similar to the affirmation cards that I mentioned earlier. The only difference I think is how long the design process is going to take, just because you have the scriptures already and so you don't have to come up with anything. But if you do want to, you can make the prayer prompt cards, which you can come up with them yourselves as well. Again, with this product, you can make a digital version and a physical version. Similarly to the scripture affirmation cards, if you make these in-house, some of the products you'll need are going to be the designs themselves, a printer or access to a printer, some nice quality paper, a laminator optionally if you want to add like an extra layer of protection, and also just a paper cutter or scissors would work as well. I would rate this probably a 3 to 4 out of 10 just because it's similar to the affirmation cards and the setup process can take a while, but then after that, you're just repeating the production of it. So the sixth item I have on my list is going to be washi tape. Now, I've always wanted to create washi tape, but I've never seen anyone like hand make it or make it in-house. Mostly they've just created designs and then send it to a manufacturer to create that for them. Personally, I haven't made this product myself, but I think the only thing you probably need are just the design itself and then just information on the manufacturer that you want to go with to produce this for you. Difficulty level, I feel like I can't rate it yet, but if I were to, I think I would give it maybe like a 6 out of 10 just because you'd have to figure out like the specs for what kind of design size you need to use. And then finding a manufacturer that is going to produce it the way that you want to might be a little bit difficult, especially just with figuring out samples and just trial and error and getting the right dimensions and all of that. Okay, so the seventh item I have is going to be bookmarks, and I would love to make bookmarks, but I'm not there yet. This is perfect for anyone who likes to read books, whether it's regular books, Christian books, or the Bible. It's the perfect gift idea, and I think it's even rising in popularity. Some of the supplies you may need are going to be the bookmark designs themselves. You can do these digitally or hand draw and do like a physical version as well. You'll need a printer or access to a printer. Along with that is going to be some nice quality paper. You want something that's slightly a little bit thick. You can use a paper cutter or scissors, and then additionally, you can add a laminate layer if you want to do that. That's optional, but that'll kind of seal it for you and kind of protect from any kind of liquids or spills or anything like that. Based on my non-experience with this, I feel like this would be like a 6 out of 10 in the difficulty level. Just because I think you need to have like some kind of design ability, whether it's putting something together or designing something from scratch. And then the printing and the laminating of that can slightly be a little bit difficult, but once you get the hang of it, I feel like it's not too bad. So the eighth product that I have is going to be journals and planners. I've seen videos on YouTube of people making these in-house, but also some outsourcing them to another manufacturer. And the design process can definitely vary, especially if you're making a journal or a planner. A journal is more so just repetitive pages and less prompts. However, a planner can have slight variations to each month or each page. So it really all just depends on what you want to make. And then also to take into consideration are going to be your supply costs. Like, do you want to use high quality paper? Do you want to use a nice binder? What kind of cover do you want to have? Things like that. So some of the things that you'll need are going to be the design layout. So like what you want for each page, If you print them in-house, you'll need a printer or access to a printer. And depending on how you want to bind your journal or planner, you may need a specific type of glue or just one of those binding machines. I think that like coils the spiral thing that kind of holds it together. So based on all of that, I would say that the difficulty is probably like an 8 to 9 out of 10, just because there's so much preparation and decisions that have to be made in order to create a product like this. Number 9 is going to be sticky notes or notepads. Now, I've combined these together because they're slightly similar and they use some of the same supplies. For the design level and design skills, I would say it's like in between like stickers and like affirmation cards or scripture cards, because you don't really need to design something from scratch, because you could just take pieces of art that's already created and like put something together, but you also can create something from scratch and use that as well. Some of the supplies I think you may need are going to be the designs themselves, a printer or access to a printer. Now for the paper, you technically don't have to get quality paper because you are printing it in a huge batch. However, if you wanted to splurge on nice paper, you could totally do that. And then you'll also need a heavy duty paper cutter, because you probably don't want to be hand cutting these with scissors, and then the right glue to adhere them. So I realized as I was editing this video that for some reason my audio didn't record on the rest of this part, but then I realized it, and then I re-recorded some parts of it, but I didn't re-record the parts that I needed to. And so I didn't rate this one, but I would rate it a 5 out of 10, just because it's not too hard to make. It just takes a while to produce the products. And then the 10th item that I have is going to be stationery kits, which I love because you can personalize it to however you want. Depending on what kind of products you make, you may need some paper products like sticker paper, regular cardstock, matte cardstock, just different things like that. Again, laminate and vinyl are optional, especially if you want to make it a little bit more upscale. And then shipping and packaging is always my favorite, because you can personalize this to however you want with the specific colors and designs and stickers, and there's just so many things that you can do with it. The difficulty level, I'll probably rate this an 8 out of 10, just because there's so many moving parts to it. However, I think if you're able to do a lot of the previous items, then this may be slightly lower for you. But I think that's going to be it for this video, guys. I hope it was helpful and beneficial in giving you guys some ideas and inspiration on what you can do for your small business. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already, and I will see you guys in the next video.